welcome to the Life is Funny That Way podcast. I'm Sarah Batishi, and I'm here with my mother.
Diana Batishi. Hello, America.
Hello. And just to let you know, America, when I said I'm here with my mother, Diana Batishi, my mom pointed at me just to be sure it was her turn to introduce herself. I'm like, yes.
Yes, I was like, you're not going to introduce me? Okay.
Because you always say your name.
I know, but I like it when you said it last week. I like that way you presented it.
We have like 4 or 5 episodes out. Like, we've been doing this for a second.
Yeah, I know. We're working on it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, how's your week been, Mom? What's happening with you?
Oh, not too much this week went on. I'm trying to remember. Nothing really comes to mind. What about you?
Not too much. I had a wedding last night that I helped plan and coordinate, and so I'm a little bit tired, and my feet are sore because I wore heels all night long. And
oh yes, tell us about the event you told me about just a little while ago that happened at the wedding.
Yeah, so I planned a wedding for one of my friends, and she and her husband are both pro UFC fighters, and most of the guests that attended the wedding were UFC fighters or MMA professionals. And as I was in the kitchen, I had dropped some plates off in the kitchen, and one of the the venue staff came in and was like, I just wanted to let you know, like, I'm not really sure if they're joking around or not, but a couple of them are fighting. And she's like, seems like everything's okay, but I'm not sure if they're just playing. And I'm like, they're just playing. I had to explain to her that they all, fight professionally, and the grappling and striking is just normal movement for them. And they joke around. Someone's putting someone in a headlock, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally normal.
Normal behavior.
It's normal behavior. They're not fighting.
Probably different for her to see at a wedding.
Yeah.
She wasn't sure. Are they upset or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely playing around. So.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, that's pretty much been it. James, we've got James's costume almost ready.
Yeah, Autumn made that. That was neat.
Yeah, she did good. We thrift shopped that, so.
Yeah, you did good this year.
Yeah, well, the alternative was paying $160 for the cosplay costume because he picks a character from a random video game that they don't make costumes for.
No, they don't make costumes for those characters. They sort of wear normal clothes or a certain
like
fighter style
gear,
clothes that you
don't find at
there's not a costume for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Are you and Dad ready for trick or treat and Halloween this year?
We have no candy yet, but that's probably because your father is afraid to bring it in the house because even when he hides it, I find it.
Find it.
Yeah. So he's like, he told me, I said, when are we getting our candy? Having not had it, I really want it. And he's like, as close to Halloween as possible.
The day that the neighborhood does trick or treat is the day you're getting it.
And I said, well, I think we should get it like Saturday. Because,
I think we should get it today.
Yes. I said we should get it, Saturday.
To be prepared.
Yeah, because in case the supplies get low in the store.
Right.
Okay, I had some malarkey
that you're a grown adult and you can go and buy a candy bar whenever you want, right?
Yes,
They're like $1.
I know this, but if I buy it, then he's going to be like, how many of those have you had? And I'll be like, okay, now I have to either tell the truth or think of a lie.
Right.
Or sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
Oh, only 5 or so. So, Yeah. There's a small size. I can have 5.
Right. 5 of the fun size equals 1 candy bar.
Yes. I was trying to equal it to a king size candy bar. That's what I was going for. Maybe I went a little overboard, but yeah. But yeah.
Because for king size is your normal portion size.
Yes.
So.
Dad will always say, would you go out and get me a candy bar? And he'll say, sure, what size? And I'll say, okay, I should say regular, but I'm going to say king. And he knows it. He knows. I was like, why does he ask me the same question? Because he knows that what my mind is thinking, but he's trying to, I think, talk me down.
He's trying to give you the choice since you're working on your cholesterol and sugar intake. He's trying to give you the choice or the chance to make the right decision for your health.
Yes, I'll have a regular. And a few times I have just had a regular. But it's not as good as a king, I've discovered.
Right, because you always need more after
that.
Yes.
So, yeah, in fact, the other day I was at the pharmacy and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to wait for my prescription. Was having a problem with the insurance and trying to get this prescription ordered. And I was like, okay, I feel that I need a candy bar right now because I feel like I deserve one because of the stress I'm going to have to go through to get this prescription ordered. Yeah, and which surprisingly wasn't my cholesterol medicine, but it was.
Right.
It was another health-related medicine. And I'm like, okay, I really think I need a candy bar right now. And then
because you're so stressed because you had to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he came home and found the wrapper and was like, so, I see you had a candy bar today.
No, Autumn did.
No, I couldn't deny it. I probably had chocolate smeared all over my face or something. I was just like, I had one.
I may have had one. I don't recall.
I don't recall. I think I need another one. But anyway, that's that. But yeah, Halloween. It's interesting how it's changed over the years a little bit. I've been seeing, I was just thinking the other day about how different it was when I was a kid. Now, see, my mother, she didn't like trick-or-treat. She would give things to trick-or-treaters, but she did not like Halloween because her mother told her that she thought it was begging. So, my mother did not like me going out trick-or-treating. So, I went maybe twice in my life. But
you only went twice?
Well, I think I went once when I was little, and then I went once with the neighborhood kids.
Okay.
Usually what would happen was, back to candy bars again, I would go over to the kids' house, the neighborhood kids, and have their candy bars, because they were younger than I was, and I was like, they were like, sure, here, take the candy. So I was like, okay, I just have them go trick-or-treating, have them go do the work, and then come back and bring the candy, and we would eat it.
Right, so, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so my mother really didn't like me to do that, and my mother was a very interesting stop for the trick-or-treaters, because I remember she would answer the door, and the kids, trick-or-treat, and they would hear this plop, plop, plop sound in there. They would hear things bouncing in their bags, and they would look, thinking, is this candy? Because it was dark, and then they realized it was pennies. My mother would be giving out pennies to the neighborhood children.
I just imagine them.
And they would have these really confused
looks. Just staring up at her, just like...
Yeah, they would look at what she put in, and they'd be, wow, this is really... odd behavior, but my mom was born in 1924, so she was, she was from a different time, a different era, and
what did she think they were gonna buy with pennies?
I don't know, because this was in the 70s and the 80s, and you couldn't buy. What could you buy with pennies at that time?
What could you buy with pennies? Ever
with 4 cents?
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't really know. She would do that, or sometimes she would do apples. And at that time, there was a big scare about razor blades and apples on the news. And so here's my mother giving out
She's the old lady
apples
handing out apples
to neighborhood children. You know, they've all seen Snow White, and they're all getting they're all getting apples, and they've all heard about the razor blades, and but that's just she was. If that didn't work, she'd give out pencils.
Oh.
That was another commodity in her Halloween. And I used to be like, I'd hear the doorbell ring, and I'm like, it's my friends. Maybe I need to go hide somewhere.
Go hide.
I don't want to see their face when they get pennies or apples or pencils.
I bet the parents, I don't even like when James gets pencils in, like, school treat bags or anything. I'm like, why? I feel like the parents do that on purpose to the other parents, because what he does is he sharpens the pencils, and then there's pencil shavings all over the house. And I'm like, put these in your box and keep them at school. I don't want these pencils in my house.
Yeah. Yeah, well, at least he's not getting pennies. And speaking of the Halloween costumes, each year I had like 3 alternatives. In those days, you just worked with what you had. You were like, if you had a sheet and you had some holes in it, you were a ghost.
You were a ghost that year.
You wore your bedspread for Halloween. But I had like 3 options. I could be gypsy. I had a fancy skirt, and my mother would give me all her jewelry to wear. Or I could be a witch. She'd buy like a witch hat, and I would wear a black thing and be a witch. Or, well, let's see, what was it? Princess.
She kept the witch hat for when she handed out apples.
Yeah.
She wore that when she handed out apples to kids.
No, she didn't, but she probably could have, because the kids were probably wondering why she's giving out apples. But yeah. And there was, or a princess. She would make a crown out of cardboard or out of whatever, and put some sparkles on it. And one year, I'm a white girl as far as complexion goes. Mm-hmm. One year, she made me a Hawaiian girl. And here I am, the whitest thing you've seen, around. And she had like a grass skirt and some, those things, what are they called? Lays around the neck. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I don't know if people got that was supposed to be a Hawaiian thing or what. But
I mean, I'm sure they did. Maybe they thought you were a tourist in Hawaii. Like you
maybe,
were touring.
Maybe I was a tourist.
Posing as a tourist, a Hawaiian tourist.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are what I remember being. So, yeah. And I never was like this year, like X is like Star Wars, and she's got all the makeup.
Right, they got the makeup, and they have so many makeup tutorials now that it's like everybody gets really creative with the makeup. And she did her full face. Yes. Just like the Star Wars character.
What was Darth Maul, I think?
I think so.
I don't know the characters, but yeah.
Yeah, like just how James has his like lightsaber that he bought at Disney that was like $300. I'm glad he's getting some use out of it.
Yeah.
And his costume is a Star Wars character as well, but yeah, I feel like even in my day, because I feel like we kind of put our costumes together too as kids. I know anytime I was a little kid though, you always bought me like a little princess costume. Yeah. Like whatever princess I wanted to be that year.
Yeah, you were always a princess.
I was always a princess.
One year I think you were Jasmine, you were Belle. What other princesses were you? I can't remember, but I was always a princess.
And I know that there was one year I was the devil's bride, so still a high...
Still a bride,
still,
yes.
Like a high-power woman.
Yes.
But I remember I had this... So you bought the devil costume and the pitchfork, and then I took it upon myself to tie this sheer red apron on my head for my veil.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I look back at those pictures and I'm just like... Oh my gosh. I think that was the year that Autumn was Casper. She looked cute in that little costume, but yeah, and I went around trick-or-treating like that.
Well, when you guys were young, when you were little, every Halloween, Addie's costume was by what pajamas would you like to have? So he'd say, I want to be Batman. I go, great. I'd buy him Batman pajamas. And then I want to be a Ninja Turtle, whatever those mutant things are. And so I buy him Ninja Turtle pajamas. It was like an easy thing. It was like, sure, just wear this out.
Except for the year that you bought him Batman pajamas, it wasn't to be Batman. It was because he was a fruit bat.
Yes. Yes. Well, that was an odd year because we went to the zoo and he was just little and he had seen the fruit bats. And I did not realize it had this impression on him.
A fruit bat.
And he came out of there and I said, what do you want to be for Halloween? And he said, a fruit bat.
A fruit bat.
I want to be a fruit bat.
Okay.
And I was like, how do I make this costume work? He wants to be a fruit bat. So maybe it was the Batman. I can't remember what I did, but I had to think up something to make this work for him, because how do you make someone a fruit bat? How do you define that? I don't know.
I don't even know what that looks like.
Yeah, I don't either. So, I don't know. But yeah, so that was an odd year for me. But yeah, I used to buy, just like you said, pajamas, or yours I would have to order the Princess, the Belle, or get out of the store.
At Kmart.
Yeah,
back
somewhere
when Kmart
cheap.
was a thing.
Somewhere cheap.
Now it's Walmart, but I think there were a lot more Kmarts back then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, but anyway, how is it different for you now, Sarah? How has Halloween changed from when you were a kid that you now have to get James ready?
Definitely every year I have bought his costume.
Yes.
Or it's been expensive. Even this year, we thrift shopped everything, but we still had to buy supplies to DIY.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. And but yeah, every year we've hit up the Halloween store. Last year he was the T-Rex that you see. I see those costumes on social media all the time now, and people are like dancing ballet in them, or they make funny videos where they're
maybe you could
running
sell
around.
It then for what we paid for that costume.
Yeah, it was an inflatable T-Rex, but and I feel like every year he picks something that's like, it's either right on the mark, like it is something that you can find, like Spider-Man or Sonic, or it's just completely left field. I want to be this character from this video game that's not a main character in anything else.
Right.
And they don't carry this costume.
Right.
Unless you order it from like a cosplay site, which is where you find costumes for Comic-Con convention.
Yeah.
And those are like a couple
Very
$100.
expensive.
Yeah. I'm like, we don't.
Very expensive.
I have to remind him, we're poor.
Like, I know. You have to tell him, we have a budget, a limit on this, buddy.
We're single mom income. Like,
and that's usually what he does, is go with Grandma.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, I can talk Grandma into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can.
Yeah. So that's what his plan is usually.
So it's been different also too, like the trick-or-treating. I know people are a lot safer now.
Yeah.
There's a little more structure to the trick-or-treating, because when I remember, I trick-or-treated all the way up to high school, I think. But, I've even considered going trick-or-treating this year. So, because I'm short enough. Okay, hear me out on this. I'm short enough, and if I put a mask on and walk around in tennis shoes, I could get my chocolate stash
you could
for
the rest of the year. Yes.
Yeah, because James, he hoards his candy and is secretive, and he knows what's missing and when it's missing.
Oh, kids do.
And I'm like, okay, you need to get your candy. So that when I'm ugly crying in bed at night or reading my fictional books, I have some chocolate,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've always loved to dress up and trick-or-treat. I think that when I was in the preteen and teenage years, we just made our costumes.
Yeah.
Or we put it together, just things that, like, nobody would even be able to guess what they were. Like, this one year, I was a Barbie, and instead of what I did, this is so, like, early 2000s, but it was like, I wore a pink shirt and jeans, and then I bought pink saran wrap and made a saran wrap skirt. that I wore
Oh,
over my
did you?
jeans. And I'm like, what?
I'm trying to remember this.
Yeah, I was like, what is wrong with you? There are a lot of things I look back and I cringe. I'm just like, okay.
Can't believe I did that.
I don't want to relive this. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Speaking of trying to be safe, this is how we did it in 2020. People were a little bit hesitant about going out trick-or-treating, but you could feel the tension in the neighborhood that everybody needed to get out of their house.
Yeah, they need to get out.
We'd been cooped up since like February, March, and it was October, and everybody's like, I don't care what's going on. I'm going trick-or-treating. So Dad got this long, and you were there. Did you come, Sarah? Was it another time?
Yeah, I was there.
Was it another time you were there and I didn't notice you?
Yeah, I mean, we were all there.
This explains her child phobia or child problems that she now has, because I didn't know she was there. Yes. So, but he connected some PVC pipe together. Autumn decorated.
And Autumn decorated it.
She was dressed like Frozen, and she dressed it in the teal and stuff. She put glitter and teal trimming on it to make it match her Frozen costume.
Yeah, she decorated it Frozen themed.
And he hooked up
his
air compressor.
Yeah, the air compressor.
Air compressor to it, and the candy flew out at the children. They would come up in the driveway, and he was sitting down on the driver, and they would stand at the end of the pipe, and he'd go, okay, get ready to catch it. And he would shoot the air compressor, the candy would fly out,
launching the
hit
candy.
the little kids,
poke them in the eye.
Yeah, and they would be startled.
Social distancing.
But it was social distancing.
Trying to keep social distancing.
And they would eventually catch it or pick it up off the ground. And the parents loved the idea. But it was social distancing. It was, COVID.
And Autumn got use of that dress that she wore to her prom.
Yes, she wore her Frozen costume to her.
I can't. She dressed as Elsa for her prom.
Yes, she did. We were going to buy her whatever dress she wanted.
And I worked at a bridal
shop at the time.
Special occasion shop. Yes,
she did.
Found a beautiful gown that was blue and sparkly.
But no, she wanted to be Frozen. She even made the shoes. She bought a pair of shoes and made them into the Frozen shoes. So she had long blonde hair, and so she put it in a braid like Elsa. And so, yeah, she again got used to that cosplay costume when she wore it to her prom. Yeah. So we have birds that walk to a different tune in this family. Yeah. But like Xana, I'm sorry, America.
We're not editing that.
We're not editing it. No, we never edit it out. We always say her name. We're so bad.
It takes too long to go back and cut that tiny piece out.
Yes, it does.
We can't afford an editor, so this is what's happening.
Yes, but she always wants to be, like we said earlier, something Star Wars, and I could never get her. Or she wanted, when 101 Dalmatians was out and she was a little kid, she wanted to be the Dalmatian in that.
And then she was like Simba one year.
Yeah, I think she was Simba one year. We just have never been able to get her to be a princess or anything.
Right.
Girly. She's like, no, I want to be this character. I like this character.
Yeah, wasn't she? I think she was Avatar one year too. Wasn't
she do Avatar? I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, she's done. Yeah, many different interesting things. So, yeah, and normally her costume was all around face paint. Because it was whatever the character was, either blue or red or whatever.
Yeah, that was the Avatar.
Or an animal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was not surprised this year when she, at 30, said
sent us a picture.
Yeah, she was having a Halloween party, and I said, "Oh, what are you going to be?" And I get a picture of Darth Maul, and she's got the red face. No surprise there. But yeah, that's all I have on Halloween. So. Or if you have anything else.
No, I mean, it's Halloween weekend, so James has an activity tonight, a trunk or treat, which you always call trick or trunk.
Yeah, trick or trunk.
Mom just makes up her own words. It's the trick. Oh, you're going to the trick or trunk tonight. and James will look at me or, he'll look up from the text and say, Grandma just called it trick or trunk again. And I'm like, I know. Just let her do it.
I can never get that straight. I never get it. As soon as I said it, Dad's like, you mean, what is it, treat or trunk?
It's trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat. Okay, your dad corrected me, and I've already forgotten it, as you can see.
Right.
As you can see. So, yeah. So have a great Halloween, America, and be safe, and have a great time.
And remember,
life is funny that way.